What prevented you from following me? Then have you disobeyed my order to cut the crops of Krishna curse? Arona said, O son of my mother, don't seize me by my beard or my head. Indeed, I feared that you would say you caused division among the children of Israel, and you didn't observe my word. So that shows that he is observing the word of Moses. And that's why Arona has not acted against the calf carnation of the golden calf by the summary. Okay, so the guilt of Arona is not making the golden calf. Arona simply has not prevented the summary from organizing Burning Man festival in the middle of Israelites when Moses has gone into Mount Sinai. But Arona has not made the golden calf. So Moses said, Love Lord, forgive me and my brother, because if your brother has made the Antichrist, then that's gonna be pretty stinky, eh? And cause us to enter into your mercy, that like messianic Mirka rains down from your cow Christ cloud, al-Baqarah, and you are the most merciful of the mercifuls. Surely the Krishna cursed ones who took to themselves the eagle or the calf, Aql, Ajal, have incurred rocky anger of Isahi judgment Dadur from their love Lord upon themselves, and hippie Hari homosexual humiliation in the present world, in the present life, and thus we recompense the fabricators. And when Moses, another account, and when Moses said to his people, O my people, verily you have wronged yourself by accepting the Buddha Abudanik Igelejel as your God. So turn in repentance with the oming voice, because in voice of the eagle, the flies of the Beelzebub can fly in zero gravity of the mind manhole. Okay, you are over there, you have to throw out mother and father and God and gender and everything and all the definitions and the values and the boundaries, and then you think it is locked. Now you can start doing this is in the one of the movies of the Antichrist that is famous. It is called, it is not a spoon that is bending, it is you that is bending. That is the number one protocol of the sorcery, because you have to place yourself in the position of a god and then interiorize everything to be an object of your mind. And once you do that, then you can mess around with these objects, because they are only the projection of your mind. But the thing is that that needs a tremendous amount of arrogance. That's precisely what that's the spirit of the Hindu filth, or the Buddhist baboons. So turn in repentance to your Maker and kill yourselves or your solar calves to contain the zombie apocalypse of Krishna curses, Karashi, Kharashi, Khresanti. Because controlling the Gaugian gangrene and Galilee Gardenic contamination will with Buddha Abudanic abomination will be better for you with your Maker. It is better to just stop it right here, right after Buddha bath. And so let the beauty faithful and God-fearing and innocent humans should kill the sickled or khalid or khalid or vacuumed or vampired or mokshat victims of the Kali, Satan, Shakti, or those zombie vampires whose messianically milk-out heart pictures were Khalid, black hole, drained, emptied. The root word of the Kali in English language is hollow, khali, empty, khalal in Arabic, or in Hebrew too, Hebrew 2490. Khalal, khali. That's the meaning of the this god, the empty god that worships, that these forces worship them, are worshipping. For them, the absolute bliss is the khaliing of the love and the fear and any kind of logic and reasoning and sensation. And because all of those things are coming when under the presence of love and caring and attention, but when you are dry, all of those things are, you are deprived from all of those, then you are khalid, then you don't care about any and nothing, about no one, about nothing. You're just there. You are just random particle going toward and then finished. That's it. This vacuum is basically vacuum of the purpose or the meaning or the love or basically the ecstasy, the real happiness. That's why you become full of sadness. In the Islamo-Christian camp, of the Israeli ships that cross the Karimi, heavy cow cloud or Sahab al-Saqil or Qamam is raised, roofed, rafat by Allah's villa or the Turul Ayman upon their thirsty heart pictures, and he is fruit, sprout, pour, parting or parting or paraying or fruiting or farroch or part, parid, fruit, farroching, faraying, Isahi, Euphrates with the same root word, Furat, of tearful tifarat, we call it tawfir or vafar, tafarat, with the same root word, 2327, tawfir, or gushing force, fruiting, pouring out, prosperously spring fruit, abundant outburst, gush force of healing honey, grace. It's not healthy in this state. It's not healthy to have bunch of vampire valves and hairy holes and Devi drains to empty this thing, which waste and empty and kali and khali the Islamic or Isahi ecstasy or the Messianic milka or the grace of God, and wasted. No matter how much God pours it in their heart pictures, they empty it. And they say, we dharma to emptiness, we stick to emptiness, we don't want this, we don't want this. They're just eating the pages like bunch of termites, and then they say that forget about the story and the pen and the words, just this is nice tasty piece of paper to eat, something like that. That's the ultimate level of the awakened consciousness of a Hindu orangutan or Taoist trash. And that is why Moses say, kill the Krishna curse and seal the drains. It's the waste of mercy milk. And so that epidemic emptiness, vanity, that we are now having plenty of it, and psychopathic psychocalypse. Psychocalypse is the name that some bunch of hippie hellions put, like a psychedelic apocalypse. That's what Pollinator or Kaduka Bahini or the tiger, the lion of Durga dragon is actually producing, the poisoner, the poison pollinator. of salty solar calves does not turn our Christ the Karim camp to the Dajjalic desert of the end time apes. And that is how we read about this anti-witchcraft yoga killing. Okay, now we have a yogi killing. That's a celebrity ceremony. Yogi killing and cleansing, that in Exodus 32:19. And he approached the camp and saw the Krishna scratchy calf, or lotusy lamb, or nazi eagle edger, or the horsey falcon, and the hippie dancing. Moses became enraged and threw the Tarshishi tablets into action, or basically Moses is paired with Christ, and so whatever Moses judges, Christ is gonna do. And so like any causal cord that Moses doesn't want, he will cut it, and then they will fall into the deep sea. That's that simple. Either crush them or they suck them down. And so there is no stone in hand of Moses. Moses through the tablets, means Moses have eaten a manamonic mushroom, and now on the psychedelic state he is going, and in that psychedelic state, through the Moses channel, 600,000 people have been teleported through the behind the bubble realm into the other side of the Red Sea on the surface earth. And so that's the power that these tablets have. These are the we will talk about these tablets, but these are not two pieces of a stone, what we call them as a stone. Out of his hearty wing hands, smashing them, activating them, or the great name of Allah, or basically in the name of love, he is doing the yogi killing egolessly at the base of the mountain. Then he took the solar calf, Obama, Sodomat Swastika, president of the this nation in damnation that is full of gay marriage, filth, and nuclear arsenal, and whatever you want is here, that is actually joined with the Taoist China. They've always been joined. They made coin or mosaic. Later on we will read as to how they did it, and burned sarf or saraf him up and burned him, and then ground or tahan or tachan him to dadichi curd or pottery powder, or daq or dagag, or dig down. And so this is what is done to Barack Obama. When we read in the book of Revelation about the slash of the sword, that sword is the Moses' staff that is healed and wounded, and forced the Israelites, or the Holocaustian Hindus and Palestine occupiers and Vaticanian hypocrites to drink the scarlet water in kirtans of Krishna curse for Hari humiliation in the present life. Then Moses asked Aaron, now from Samari or Sembalat, or Sendebalat, what did this or Shinari Balat, what did these Israeli people do to you that you have led them into such a grave sin? Don't be enraged, my lord, Samari replied. You yourself know that the people are intent on evil. They said to me, make us an oming god Gog, or 64 tetrahedron Metatron cube, who will go loose or seek a leak halak or lak halqe that will go before us like abyss angel of plowing pigs, because this Moses, the master man who brought us up from the land of Egypt, we don't know what has happened to him because of the extended 10 days. So some resembled on coiner of Dadichi mosaic, that's another name of the Barack Obama, said to them, whoever has Manipurai gem or salty sin or sandan, anvil, tamuzi third, or cargo from the salt sea, of the unseen, and genie junk, and guru garbage from kundalini gold, take it off. All the real power, or the real fire power that you have, jerk off your shamanic semen, fat, foam, or got shamani, semen, shaman, or tir, or farak, or paragi, farak, and they gave it to me, to Guru Samari. When I threw it into the fire pit of venomous Vishnu, out came this Baraki Nazi eagle, or Egel, or Agol, or calf. Samaris, Durgas, Davon, Qatuk Bahini, or Aruna, Orion, is the name that we usually give into the sex beast, or Argavan, or Arajan, or Orion, the constellation, just symbolically. Moses saw that the people were naked, torn off from their Christ Karimi cover coat, for summary had made them naked. This nakedness is not the one that people take off. This is summary asks it from the vampires that have sucked red blood, or the sex blood, or the Adamai dam, or demonic dam or damut of salt sea, to puke and to in order to make the Barack Obama. And so Moses saw that the people were naked from their garment of faith, and because the people that were already naked and eating from abomination have puked and made the calf, the mosaic, or the golden calf, before their naked enemies. And Moses stood at the camp's entrance and said, whoever is for the love Lord, come to me. And all the Levite brothers gathered around him. These Levites are like the race of the Hamas and Hezbollah, warriors of Hassan Nasrallah and General Qasem Soleimani, that are like number one danger for those sodomite wastes under the Iron Dome defense system of Israel, as well as their genuinest wonder workers, or the scientists. He told them, this is what the Lord Allah of Israel says, every man fasten his sword to his side, go about and force through, go back and forth through the camp from entrance to entrance, and each of you cleanse his umming brother, his emming friend, and his homing neighbor, his Ummani Padme homing neighbor. And hidden Israeli hypocrites were not completely uprooted by this compassionate cleansing, and that's why we have the vicious, notorious Samaritans, to be called as notorious sorcerers, or the pharaonic leftovers inside the Israelites, the anti-Christian hypocrites. And so these are the neighbors and the friends and the brothers that are not brother and friend and neighbor. They are hidden Hindus, but at the surface they touch Bible or Holy Quran and talk about God and that kind of thing, but their God is a lie, Durga dragon. The Levites did as Moses commanded, and check it out, just as Elijah killed 850 shamans of Buddha Abudan, or the Baal husband of Satan Shakti. Here 300 yogis, or the monkey moles, or the men, or the plague pigs, or classmates of Jalut, Jolayat, Goliath, Jali, or Krishna cursed chimeras, which are scratched by Kali Kali sickle, and purposeless programs, the bugs in the system, fell dead that day among the people. And so again, these are like what we call them as Sodom, like the damaged person, like a sodomite is not as sick as these ones. There might be a little bit of hope for those, but for these yogis, the best thing that you can do is to terminate these zombies. That's the silver bullet in their brains. We will look later on how David did that to Yogi Goliath, and 3,000 of them just were finished. These are the fleshy Philistines, whose fleshes, not the worldly flesh, they have a thick fleshes, and that's the fleshes that they have used, and then take it out, that shekels, heavy shekels, in order to, or ashkals, or ashkals, or ashkals, or shekels in English language, Arabic, Persian, Hebrew, to make this heaviest guru of the history, the president of the democracy, empire of democracy of the king. People are think that they are living in a democracy, but it's just a good cover up for the thoughtful Pharaoh, for Siddhartha. After Moses said, consecrate yourselves today to the love Lord, even every man went straight against his swine son, and upon his Abudabudan brother, and he may bestow upon you a blessing. So how do you consecrate yourself? You cut the crap right off the Buddha bat over there. You just finish them over there, because these zombies can cause zombie apocalypse, just like the one that we have at the moment, at the end time. And so again, 3,000 yogis were done over there. Although they look like the son or brother or neighbor, but again, there are none of those things. He may bestow upon you a blessing this day. Amana. It was through this repentful cleansing, like basically when a plague comes, the best thing is to quarantine the people and isolate them, and the ones that are going around, you kill them, so that the rest of the society doesn't become Hindu yogis. After rotten reptiles from a Yogi Goliath race that continuation of 254. Then Allah accepted your repentance. This is the repentance. The repentance in action was killing 3,000 solar calves, basically mini shamans, or solar calves, small babies around the solar calf. It was yes, and so truly He is the one who accepts repentance, the most merciful. And so the Siddhartha, that's how Siddhartha received the slash of the sword that is later on healed, or the Dajjal has received the slash of a sword that one of his eyes is like has received the sword strike, a part of his face, the Barack Hussein Obama, and now with plastic surgery he is fixed, and now he's on the scene. Episode 6. Now let's focus on cleansing of Barack Hussein Obama, abomination, or Nazi eagle, or Ejel by Moses. And recall when Moses said to his people, indeed Allah commands you to slaughter a queer calf bull, hari cow bagare, bagar, Buddha abudanic angels, abudanic angel mount pit of Apis, or Nandi, or Manand, or Andad, Nad, like the appeared, born, grown, duplicate, heal, duplication is the root word of it. Known as Naraka Nergali Galu Gala, or Galet Nargalu. That's the meaning of the Naraka. And so basically this cow, or hadar, is the golden calf is the baby of this cow, or the basically prophet of the Orion constellation. This is the Orion belly, or Ninhorsak, or Nanesak, or Nanehor means Saku, or mount, or Saku, Sag, Sexy, Sakia, sick platform, dark pit, Shakti, shoot. The Levite brothers that are now great march of returning and being killed because of making incendiary kites, and that's the physical firepower that they have, not more than that, in front of the firepower of this race that now are just have the entire 99.99% of the military firepower of the planet Ape that is going to go to war with God. That's precisely the reason that they contain that filth right over there. By dropping the 2 tablets again, but those are not the tablets, but those are, because the only way that Moses could send the Dajjal into bottomless pit back was by his staff. So they, Levite, said, do you take us in ridicule? This cow, or Krishna cow, is considered as holy award of Nandik dog pit. He said, I seek refuge in Allah from being among the ignorant. Said that I don't have time for monkey business. Kill the cursed Krishna scratchy crap. And so they said, call your love Lord to make clear to us what it is. And so these are the characteristics of the Siddhartha, or Siddhartha, or the Dadichi. Muazzazah said, Allah says first, it is a hairy cow which is neither old nor young, but median age, between that. You made this mosaic last night in your psychedelic calf party. don't pretend that you are in that you don't know about it. So it's just not saying it to the Levites but to the Israelites, but the Levites were the executors. So do what you are commanded and bring him for killing. Don't hide that filthy president. They said, call your love Lord to show us what is its color. He says it is a yellow. That's what the name of the Hari comes. Hari, or the yellow garment of the Buddhic baboons, or these kind of 3,000 mini calves of the solar calf of the Nandi or Heather or Apis cow. And so yellow Hari Zard cow, bright, okay, in Haridra we call it, or Zarid or Zard in Persian, or turmeric color, pleasing to the observer at the surface. But again, whatever is pleasing at the color at the surface, once you go into the realm of the meaning and the Galilee garden, then you see the darkness behind it. The more colorful becomes the flags of them here, the more you know that the filthiest it is in reality. The more pleasing, colorful and yellow the robe of the Buddhist monks get on the surfaces, the darker, clear, emptier it is in deep earth. They said, call upon your love Lord to make clear to us what it is. Indeed, the solar cows of Krishna curse or scratching crescent look alike to us. And indeed we, if Allah wills, will be guided to do the cleansing job. He said, surely it is a fruitless and a stiff-necked cow who is neither subservient or zalul to Allah, as cow Christ's finger or temple or body or hand of Allah is subservient to Allah. And Allah, His Father, Father, Potter, Creator, uses His merciful means of messianic pen, hand, finger, body, temple. These are all the names, the finger, or Yahu Yashai, Yad, handbook, on muddy earth, like plowing, cutting chunks of arrogance or puff, pace, pride, picture, fakhr, fakhar, for making, forming heart pictures or heart fakhars, or the pots of proud puff, nor to tasqa. So one is to cultivate, or tasir, or plow and impact, till and right the earth. So yes, I skipped this part. But the temple cow computer operating system, in order to cultivate, or tasir, or steer, is the English word for it, or the steer the earth. For instance, one of these steers is like the finger of God that is bringing the Mosesian plagues, or if you read Revelation 11, the Alberta's fires, or the earthquakes, or the mass fish die-offs, or so many of those things that scientists, apes of Pharaoh, call them as global warming, that are not global warming. I have been asking from Christ the Karim in order to bring them upon the earth. The plagues that are mentioned in Revelation 11, that's how the stirring can happen. We also read in Surah 100, verse 1 to 4, how the dust of the field is raised when tree of life impacts the plain or rides on it, or basically how the Christ Academy cow plows the field, or with those two legs of on the surface earth and the deep earth, he steers the wilderness and or the pottery pit and make different types of impacts on it. Earthquakes, storms, rains, stopping of the rain, droughts, whatever you name it, or whatever God has predestined to happen, Christ would do it. And so that's how Christ is cultivating and impacting the earth, or the finger of Allah is writing on the plane of the earth and steering it. So this is what this Dadichi dirt cannot do. This Barack Baboon Obama cannot do. For instance, he cannot steer the earth. Christ can get all the volcanoes of the earth at this very moment to pop all of them simultaneously together. Okay? That's how he steers the. But how the Obama or the Dadichi dirt of these Hindu fields steer the earth is that he can make bulldozers and the trucks or the dynamite to get the monkey manpower to scratch a little bit of the surface of the earth. Okay, that's the difference between these two cows. One is the cow of creator, one is the cow of crap. So nor this Siddhartha cow that is in yellow color of Hari Helions, or Hari or Zaridra or Zarid or Zad or turmeric color, Tasqa, all that the surface, Tasqa, or water or irrigate the field. That's the rain cloud of the mercy that can do. Why? Because this actually one of the names of the Dracula or Dadichi or Doe or Barack Baboon Obama is Dracula, or the drainer of the mercy and the rain, or bringer of the drought. That's the name that in Avesta we give to Antichrist, or the Apushtiv is the name of the Antichrist. The Tishteria, that is another name of Christ, or She'rai Yamani, or Najm al-Shu'ra, or Sirius, or Shu'ur, or consciousness, a star that brings the golden age of legacy maturity, logic, consciousness. And like plenty of Sufis and Rumis and Hafizes and Ferdowsis and apostles and disciples are made, and hundreds of thousands of prophets are made by this Christ. They're all coming from Tishteria, and so Tishteria brings a fertile era, not by the number of the goods, Walmarty goods that you have to eat for your flesh, or the drug stores with different facilities for your fleshy pleasures, but with truth. And so that's the tier of the truth that comes from Tishteria. And so in Avesta, that's the name of the Christ, one of the names of Christ. We will talk about it. But the Antichrist name is Apushtiv, or Abyss Div, or devil of the abyss that brings. Abyss means abbas, or the drought or dryness, and that we already read about it in Genesis 1 verse 2. Also in Genesis 2 it is mentioned, a river that comes and Tasqa, or a Hebrew word or Arabic word or Persian word, Tasqa, or the water wards the field. That's the river that comes out of the third temple of the Ezekiel 40 to 47. And then the field, we're not talking about this field, okay? We're talking about the Galilee Gardenic field. And so that piece of filth, this Anu Hanuman of the Ramarat cannot even do this. What it does is to bring different states of closed heartedness, that you think mother, father, values, dignity, sacredness, the real sacredness, they are all gone. And then now that you have interiorized everything inside yourself, then you can turn into a relativistic orangutan or idol or bodhisattva or digit like Albert Einstein, and then you can fart out a little bit of theories that other baboons don't know how to challenge, and so they scratch their hands, and then you have a little bit of money support from other parts that some people clap, and then 100 monkey experiment, everybody say, wow, maybe this guy is a genius. So let's accept whatever hell he says, although because we cannot figure out what the hell he's talking in his formulas. But again, sun doesn't remain under the sun. He was proven to be wrong. We will talk about that too, by the very science of this chimpanzee. And so the water that this orangutan brings is the salt water, is just lie. And so again, there is a hadith from Prophet Muhammad that when Dajjal comes, there are two waters behind him. His water is the fire of hell, and his fire that puts you in the Guantanamo Bay prison and calls you terrorist, and then calls you anti-Sodomite or hate speaker, is the water of heaven. So Prophet Muhammad says, when this piece of filth or Siddhartha came, drink as much as possible from his pain, trouble-making fire, because that is the water of heaven. This water here is the water that Christ gives. This has nothing to do with the H2O water. Water is the field. So this is what the cow of Allah does, or Baqarah, or the Asura 2, or Mahish Asura, the buffalo cow Christ. That in Mitzrayim they're trying to kill in the Kant cult of the Antichrist. As Allah Potter gets his Baqarah or cow Christ with sound of many water words, as we read in Revelation 1:15 or Revelation 14:14, the cloud, Turena Rosahi Ruh radiance, Fairahi flera, Herahi honeyhit, Logos logati ladoni love light, into the empty heart pictures, written, sculptured, molded programs, palm clay pots, in Hades ehdas hadasat hadasa pottery workshop, renewal pit, and fulfill them with purpose, beauty, logic, something that pulls you toward itself, rather than something that gets you to stand still like a stagnant stench. That's precisely what those orangutans around Dalai Lama are, as well as himself. We will look at the Kedar Lamas, the predecessors of this filthy piece of Dalalai, or Galilee, Zalalat, or Zalal, or Tariki, or darkness. Gatherers of the darkness, that's the name of these Lamias, or vampires. Of becoming Krishna carriers, one word containers. It is Krishna cow. Another explanation, another description of this piece of it, the golden calf of or Barack Obama. It is a Krishna cow that its sound stress or savasetiki, or 6 pieces hexagram, simple psyche set of 6 pieces, which is like qiri, farsh carpet, or crappy clay, or spread flat naked. That's why he is called naked emperor of the flat field. He is loaded by void energy, black annihilation, nothing, stationary homeostatic sand of and it has no kingship or mark, show, sign, sheets in English, or sheet in Arabic, or in Hebrew. So what are the mark and the show and sign and the sheet on Christ the Karimi King, our cow covenant? What are these? As Christ the Karimi cow covenant king, or Mahish Asura of Assyria, is wearing, putting on, bearing, carried, like tahmeluhu al-malaik, from above his head, or moon face, like above on his crown, that he has on Revelation 14:14, by the mark of the golden crown of the 7 skies, Revelation 14:14, or 7 golden lampstand, or the 7-eyed lamp, as if he is marked, love loaded with 7 spirits of God, of Allah, meaning fear of Allah, or Isaiah 11:2, the 7 spirits. We will later on talk about what marks and medallions and angelic sheets and godly gears are Isa Messiah, Master, is wearing, because Isa Messiah is like a chassis upon whom, a platform upon whom, or a computer, or a hardware upon, that is not only a hardware but also an operating system for Allah operator. And so plenty of programs are installed on him, plenty of additional softwares, and then the gene veils, mountains, mini mountains, or veil mountains, and flying mountains, and swimming mountains, in hellfire, in heaven, water, are all attached to this vortex, or enwrapping ritual. And so that's why in him, through him, for him, all of this creation is made. That's why we call the Christ as the crown of the creation. And so in a way, if you want to look at it, even in these sheets, we have the pages of the book of life, or the legends and the love stories, the mini chapters of that, with all the characters, with all the qualities, as well as the ink, as well as the page, as well as the style, the numbering, the orders, all of these we will talk about. It is because of these warrior weapons that are warrior king, his harvesting equipments, his heaven and Hades keys, that Allah, that the keys of heaven and hell are in hand of Allah, the key carrier of the Creator. His meaningful means his blessing backpack, and in short, his harms and benefits. Just as we read that it is the God that can give harm and benefit. Both, all of these are in those sheets that differentiate between Allah's fully armed war machine and also love machine, Isa cow Christ King, and queer Krishna cow, queer cow crap of Curse Krishna scratch of Harry Hellions. Okay, this orangutan, this Barack Baboon Obama doesn't have anything. In his picture on the Time magazine, you see what he has is the Federal Reserve Banking, the IMF, the Goldman Sachs, the money, the Kabaragadi, and then the Large Hadron Collider, the military, the NATO, the military power of all the Chinese soldiers, all of the soldiers of the Putin pet are working for Barack Hussein Obama. Trumpet is giving blowjob to Barack Hussein Obama, as well as Pope Francis. All of these maggots, and then Ben Salman and the barking Erdogan that looks like a Muslim friendly orangutan, but he is nothing but an orangutan, are all in his hands, and then he is controlling the foot of the fleshy parts, and then the information channels that we are being brainwashed, the education system of the planet. These are the things that this orangutan, this queer calf has. But the shits, these are considered for God as nothing, and so it is the cow Christ King that has the real shits and the medallions and then the war weapons. And so now we're gonna see whether the Durga with her 10 hands and the bell and the Trishula and all of those mambo jumbo garbages and man-made fields weapons can can overcome the God-made and natural organic cow or bagare or mahishasura or buffalo of Creator. All right, so they, Levites brothers, again, the Samaritans, as soon as they heard that, they know that they cannot run away from this coming thing, and so the Levite brothers said, now you have come with the Tarshish tear truce. So they slew, فَذَبَحُوهَا, they slew it, as well as his 3,000 mini solar calves, chimeras, or periphery yogi gurus, though they were near to not doing it. This is how Parvaric plague was momentarily contained right off the Buddha bat. This Baphometic bull or LGBT lamb of plain of nothing, or lotus lady with 1,000 power petals, which was brought by Levites to Moses to slew, serve, burn, and then ground, and then pulverize him and make a 6 Higgs particle from him, is called by master moles of dog pit and satanamine swines of Caesarta or Sayyidul heirs, which was a middle-aged bourgeois baboon, and said neither old to neither too young, at the Mosesian time of his first execution. Instead of Isa Messiah, he master of this master creation, this spoiled child or Caesartic cow or the bourgeois baboon is called the master of the earth, again, like the or the Gautama or the goat of the pit. By 30 tripods, transgender tenants, master masons, and Buddhic builders of the parable of Matthew 21:33-46. However, as we will read later on in Holy Quran 30:83-4, Allah has made his cow Christ to be the messianic master of the earth. Okay, Zulqarnain is وَمَكَّنَّاهُ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ. It is the earth. He is the light of the earth. He is the light of the lower cone of the BDCTN model that receives his light from the light source of earth, and he has given to his Isa'i Logos Lamb the Adon Ladon Dini title. of cow Christ Zul Qarnayn, owner of two horns, qarns, kras, the two word lines or crowns or corneas, the two horns and corneas will be shown in Bidicity and Model. In a brief explanation of this mighty title, Holy Quran chapter 18 verse 84, Revelation 18 118 are telling us that carousel causal cords or kundalini cable circuits or sababan or the forelocks or the pot handles or the hard masts of all whole kull, okay, of all the programs, the registry codes of all the programs and the clay pots in the earth or Hades or Ehdas or catastrophe on construction and reconstruction and demolishing pottery workshop are being governed by two-horned or cow Christ carousel or Bagare computer command center of creator. So all the programs are depending whether through the energy that they need or through the software, the hardware energy, and whether through the software registry. They're all basically related to the book of life, the Isa Messiah. And thus he is the love Lord's appointed Ladoni master of earth. Or look at here, verse 83 and 84. Again, the Muslim scholars don't know it. It is my duty. I have to tell the mystery of the of God, or basically mystery of religion of God, and so I'm trying to explain for you who are Christ, because it is beyond the imagination. I'm going to gradually tell you about the vastness of the weapons and the sheets and then the abilities and the potentials and then that Christ has, and the harms that Christ carrying a cornerstone can do, or the benefits of our cow Christ King. My father and my Aliyah Akhiyahi brother father are being governed by two horn-owned cow Christ carousel, and thus he is the love Lord's appointed Ladoni master of earth, who carried the keys of Hades, Des, Thanatos, Tin, clay, Tinat. This is the other side of the Fetrat, or the Tinat is related to empty, dead clay, or the base mind that we have. And then we will talk about that. Natural disposition, inborn character, mortal, takes body, mutton or mat or pottery paste of tannin, anything that is related to the body, or basic filler. Geneva or Tina, victory to some extent, but because of the expanded leaves of the fig tree, anything that is a filler, or like from the PIA root of ten, like tension and tendons, brainwave graphs of thinking and container and tent. These are all English equals of this ten or tin or thanatos, or tian. In Chinese it is missing here. Tian must be for the people of the hell. This ten or ten or thanatos, or the dead filler, is the heaven. And as you killed an evil empty ego nafs, and this is the nafs that was killed by, or the yellow calf, or the Barack Obama, the alien, or the Dadichi dirt, which is called Barack Obama, Dajjal, Antichrist, Krishna, Cow King, or Siddhartha, master of the psychopathic tenants. Then you disputed about it, okay? But ill image, but Allah brought forth the infected affection which your Siddhartha sick hearts were hiding, because they, the hypocrite Israelites that are were actually devotees of the Pharaoh or the Horus didn't want to get their Horus killed, okay? They wanted their hunter falcon to live, or their flying eagle. So we said to Moses, "Azrabahu bebazaha," and so salute Siddhartha with some splash waterward from it. Okay, there is a some Muslim scholars think this bebazaha azrabu be'asa kal hajar. So this is part of the dropped staffs. Isahi river rock of love life, the great name of Allah, or Ism al-Azam, Ladoni Logos lamp, who has tear cry brisat white as a snow light, or disease free bayza min ghayr su, or healing honey into Moses' left hand. And so his heart picture is full of or his janahak, or his pocket, not the spiritual pocket, is full of that. After he is struck by Moses, subhanallah, singing Istafa, or right hand, or asai be yamineka. This is one of the other uses, or ma'arab al-ukhra, of my Moses Salamonahi Estafa, because Moses said that I can get the leaves of the tree of life to fall down for my sheeps. I can lean on it and do my work, my shamanic work, get the teleportation of the Israelites to happen, or get the khortums and then the kundalini serpents of the magicians of the Pharaoh Buddha to be swallowed, all of those things, as well as this one. And so it is about Izrabuhu bebazaha, striking with a little bit of it. This has nothing to do with blood of that lamb, as some scholars have translated. Thus Allah give life to death and shows you signs that possibly you would consider. And so this is how that Moses strike and then bring to life through activation of the staff. Let us remember again that Isa, logos name of Allah, has brought back dead to life by Ladoni, logos name of Allah. When Moses drops and activate Alqa al-Alwah, the heart hold tabletas of his right left winger, not only he drops and activates them for a slow self burning, grounding and pulverizing the Abudabudanic abomination, or empty ego, or swastika soul of 6 pieces, but also for bringing the Brahmanic baboon back to life, so that merciful gift of Allah, that is freedom of choice, would be maintained for hairy hellions whose natural nakedness has chosen union with oblivion. And so, because if Antichrist was finished, then we didn't have empire of US, Chinese, Taoist, communist, Dajjalic, UN, world wars, nuclear bombs, all of these things are coming out of the this piece of field. Once plague program of Antichrist is slowed and revived by Christ the Karim computer, even again this orangutan is written there, registered there in Christ, he is commanded by Allah. Then anger is removed from Moses' heart mask, and he is allowed to deactivate and pick up and look up and akhaz deladoni lamb logos alwah or lohol mahfuz or luach or a slate, the solar slate. Okay, so as for now, Moses is busy with taking care of the bottomless pit, because he kind of burned and served and then or surfaced and then grounded and then pulverized the God particle of this president of US and dump it into the into the bottomless pit. And so over there with a little bit of life that is coming from Christ the Karimi tablet, or the Tarshish tablets that are in heart of Moses, left hand, right hand of Moses, he brings the scarlet beast back to life, so that the scarlet beast can get its count card of Madame Blavatsky's and Gandhi's and Hitler's and Aleister Crowley's to continue their funky job until he gets his kingdom to be built completely by the builders. And then he sees in Mumbuk look or loh graceful guidance and ruhi rain radiance of Rahmat. This is how that Moses looks at the temple, the tablets later on, because for now Moses is dealing with the Israel camp as well as the bottomless pit. And so after the execution and after the cleaning and containing the cancer and taking care of these filthy yogis and all sort of those things, then Moses have time to go for another rendezvous to Har Haram Mount of God. And so that's how he sees mercy, and God is satisfied with his perfect prophetic performance. It is due to these incidents that we read in Hades made a hadith or novelty revelation about a scar-faced eagle, or the scar on the face of the Dajjal, or that a Dajjal or Obama, he is with us. That's the meaning of him. His name, Obama, he is with us. Is blind in right eye due to the sword hit by Levites or Moses. Okay, and now he has the plastic surgery. He has all the science knowledge of these orangutans to get that fixed. And his left eye looks like a bulging out grape, or Revelation 13:3 says, and one of his heads, the physical one, was as a slain, a slewed, as fazod, or zabahud, fazabahuha, to this, to tian, and the fatal wound, plague, plague was healed by drop activated alga al-alwah tablets, by the drop tablets, because with the drop tablets, and the left hand of the Moses that is turned into white, he is later on is brought back to life. Who it gives life and who gets life? Christ the Kareem. And so Moses is used as a conduit and a channel to gets the honey and then bring it back to life by the Ismul Azam, or the in the name of Allah, so that Dajjal can continue its deception and bring his one world government, one world religion, conquered end time plagues. Mosaic plastic was healed by dropped activated tablets or mosaic plastic surgery with a handful of halal honey, and all the world wondered after the Egyptian Ajib wandering shows 10 Durga Dragoni toys and Shaktik shocks like Oppenheimer nuclear bombs and LSD, DMT, dynamites and world wars and UN NATO allies and 9/11s and NASA farces and presidential elections and all these are all just huge record of lies of beast trapping tyrant or Peron or Darande or Teron, Darande, or the which means like tyrant or the chopping beast. And so Revelation 17:8 says, the Buddha beast which you saw was and now is not. Okay, he was, that was why he was the Buddha Abudan in the Golden Calf Party, and now is not. As Moses threw him into the dark pit, pulverized him and then threw him into the dark pit, and in the future is to rise again from the abyssing grimace, drought, abyss, abus, abbas, Apustiv, or in Avesta we call him Apusha, or Apushtiv is the name of this filthy piece of abyss or vanity. And then is going to perdition, fall down, Uful, Efil, Ephalion, or perdition pit. Consider this, O mind, having wisdom and fear of Allah. The 7 heads are the 7 mountains, or Nandik nodes, or energetic meridians of dark Dharaka, or Kundalini Canyon, where the woman or the Satan, the dark Durga, dragon, Dragar, Duruj, Duruq. Duruj we call her the Satan in Avestan language, sits on them. And dark Durga dragon is allowed or given or Tita by Christ the Kareem, command center of Allah, writer, creator, father, padar, pedar, fitter, to rule, provide, govern, tamallukahum. For all whole call of the program of the programs and pictures, their fakhar fakhr, energetic emptiness. And so well, the thing is that it is the earth's hell hole inside which the Durga is there. And so this dark Dharaka is what we call it as the hell hole, and the hell is the character of hell is mentioned here. We will talk about the earth, the name of the earth, or the hell hole. Also we have it in the Holy Quran, chapter 50 verse 30. 27 23 also talks about the earth, or the Gaia. They call it Mother Earth. This is about the Mother Earth. Inside her vagina wine press is the Dark Durga dragon as well as the Apushtiv or the Barack Obama. So that the only one God by mercy means of his Isa Messiah, he al-Qalam pen hand would write, mold and wind and bless and destroy and reward and punish them. Whatever love Lord loves. Amen. They are also 7 avatar kings of the pointless, proud, puff, plain page, empty picture or fakhar. Revelation 17:10. 5 swastikai obelisks have fallen. 6th one, or the summary master, or someone like this Muhammad Sobud Bapak Somojo, Somadi Vijojo, like the godfather of the cult of forgot the name of their cult. Muhammad Sobud Bapak, they call it Bapak. The mother of the Barack Obama was in this cult. It's just a garbage, identityless mix of Islam and Buddhism with a dash of Christianity, and it's just like a very stinky cuisine of crap. Have fallen is the 6th one. The summary master sits in no contact or lamesas that we read in 2097, that it says that go and there is no touch for you, or command by Moses, but he is on surface earth. And then the 7th one, that is Barack Obama Cowbob, or the Baha'i Bob, which is healed and tossed into Shaktic dog pit, has not yet appeared at John's time. Okay, and so and when the 7th one, or the final Baha'i Bob, he appears by means of its summary master, or the 6th beast, that or the Muhammad Sobu Bapak, that prepares the rise of the Antichrist, or the Barack Obama, to come and become the president of Babel. He must continue pollinating the plagued end-time earth as Aruna, Argavan, Arjun, Revelation 17:13, scarlet, purple, red, Orion, Uranus, chariot, drawer of scarlet, Mitra, Surya, another name of the Satan. That is mentioned also in 24. But he is also the 7th one is also known as Shemesh, or the sun, that they do Surya Namastakara, that they do in Mitra Suryaism cult, or the sun salutation. If you look it up online, the sun salutation that Harry Hellions and Steve Nicks are doing, they are doing it toward this Aruna, Arjavun, Aragavun, or the gay god of Orion constellation, that is involved with the cow Christ constellation, symbolically speaking. And then the 7th Bab, Anu Hanuman beast, which was and is not on surface earth. He also is an 8th cow King Kong, and from the 7th he is. And so this is the upgrade that he is going to receive. He is an 8th, and from the 7th, and so the 7th is the Barack Obama, and then he will turn into the 8th, or into his ultimate anger Maniui, or the angry spirit, or Tamuzi spirit, after my death. He has received his 8th upgrade after I, Amir Samuel Bozogmer, 8 Salamonahi Estafa of Q3414, or the key of bottomless pit, or opening and release him, and genie army of his anarchy ants from Vayu void are humiliating punishment or azab al-alim, in which the pressurized smoke foam or kafnos or Jaffa of that we read in verse 17 of Surah 13, and then after the killing of me and my brother, the two witnesses, the two horned ram, Eldad and Medad. It is 2 minutes to the midnight clock that these chimpanzees are kind of try to say it into the midnight clock, and so that's where the a little bit of mumbo jumbo of the Beelzebubi flies and maggots of the Beelzebub and their Vimana UFO Merkabas will start. Or Amir Ali, kings of the Media and Persia of Daniel 8:20. He Gautama goat or Barack Obama Gog of the Magog, or the Greek goat Helios, or Hanuman Khalisa, or the 11th avatar of the Shiva, or the 11th horde of the Daniel 7, these go together, will magnify himself after killing the two horn ram. Okay, and so that's how he receives his final upgrade, and then he goes into the ultimate puff and proud of killing me and my brother, and then he will exalt himself in front of the prince of the Zabi Zibo, or the pleasant land, translated in Daniel 8, but it is in fact he's puffing in front of Christ, the prince of the Salam Salem city, or Medina of Allah. And then as the under Indrani King Kong of Anu Hanuman, or Anoit Coptis, or Coeptum, or acceptance, Sap Sabaot, Sabut, or approval, endurance, that they have the same root, although there are two meanings associated to the same, two Arabic words. Part of it is Sabt, that means registered or approved, and the other part is the Sabah, or Sob, or Sobu, or Sabaot, and Sabayan wind of the morning, and so Anoit Coptis is what we have for the American, Chinese, Russian empire of this orangutan, as well as Anuit, or Sabt Enayat, they call it Anu, or Anu, or Hanuman. Although the Hanuman, we will look at the meaning of the jaw of the Anu Hanuman, and where this jaw is mentioned also in Holy Bible. The jaw that has bitten the sun, and that's why the Antichrist also is called as the Shemesh of the Ishtar, because Ishtar and Shemesh go together. Ishtar's vagina, or Satan's vagina, needs the Barack's Washington monument in her vagina so that they can become Ishtarat, or 108 mantras of the Hindu Hellions. And then will accept the gentle, he will accept the gentle offerings of the builders, and then he receives the global government, and then he will rule for a short time until Christ wrap his King Kong kingdom, as well as all of his orangutans all together, dump them into the hellhole. Fuse the upper part to the lower part of the American dollar pyramid. If you look at the American dollar pyramid, this is not the sticking. That upper part is going to stick to the lower part upon the death of the two witnesses. And then this pyramid is ready to fly, to go to war with heaven, or Orion constellation goes into war with Taurus, or the Christ Karimi Taurus, or Asir steering constellation. And then once that joining of the upper part to the lower part is complete, then he have a little bit of perform dark matter miracles, which will last for about 1150 days, or 2300 divided by 2 of Daniel 8:14, including the 70 weeks 7 plus 62 plus 1 of Daniel 9:24, or the 40 days of Muhammadi Warda in the honey hadith of the Revelation in one page that I have already quoted for you. And so we will talk about this later on, but the 70 weeks are part of this last part. These timings will be explained later, and it is through this dark duration that Obama's 10 Taoist horns, including his trumpetic toy, or the second beast of the Revelation 13, that because of his crazy things, he gets actually everybody to love and miss this orangutan, the previous president. But again, everybody thinks that he has a mental problem, the Trump, but he's absolutely fine. And this is just like a good cop bad cop game. The more the bad cop plays the bad game, then the more people would miss the good cop, but they are both part of the same barren body. And his Putin pet, his puppet, his Mohammed bin Salman crown prince, his Zionist Xi Jinping, his Dalai Lama David Lullaby, his barking Erdogan, and so on. These are the kings that we use their armies, and they know how to brainwash their soldiers to go to war with Christ and with Imam Mahdi, and give their full power to him and his Durga dragonic deception. And then to perdition or full effil Ephalion sinking he is going. Amen. This Gog and Magogian surge to wilderness or Parvatic perdition will be explained as the breaking of Zulqarnain's Ironahi Dama. Once the dam is broken, then they will surge. That's the surge of the Gog and Magog. We will read about that later on. And so after summary or Simbelet, or the maker of this Barack Obama, someone like Mohammed Sobuh Bapak or Somodi Vujojo, or the sixth beast that makes the seventh beast, or the Barack Obama, to come out of the bottomless pit, so that it can receive his eighth Anu Hanumani upgrade, tells to Moses that we read in episode 2. Then Moses said, then Fazhab. And so after Moses said, what the hell have you done? And then we read already that he says that I saw what they didn't see from behind your footstep, and so you went to heaven. From the shadow behind you I grab a little bit of the hellish emptiness and call it khali, empty vacuum, and then through it with the ornaments of the orangutan, cobra copper carrying, Vajra carrying, heavy anvil gurus and Kabbalist rabbis, Jewish rabbis of the Pharaoh, and so dump all of them into in order to coin the mosaic mask of the Antichrist, or Dadichi Do, because Dadichi had to be killed, eh? And so that's how Moses, Samuel explains to him. And so when Moses comes back and then asks, and then we covered it in episode 2, then Moses tells to Samari or to the sixth beast or to Muhammad Sobu Bapak Somadi Wujojo, the godfather of the Sobu cult, that is full of the pollination. We will talk about that pollination too. The practice of the life force energy that they do, they call it Latihani life force energy, or basically the pollination with the evil energy of the Antichrist. Said, then go, Fazhab. So go as the sixth beast of the Revelation 17:10, which is at John's time, okay? He was living on surface earth and was ruling the entire Masonic and Buddhist and Vajra concord of the Shambhala chimpanzees of the underworld, in order to keep the cursing choice of the Krishna concord of your Caesartic goat God that you have made by yourself open for his victims. Okay, and so, and indeed it is decreed for you in life to say no contact, la mesas. So that's why this chimpanzee goes into draw the strings from behind the curtain and get this Masonic empire of Chinese Zipingi, Putin Petty, Trumpeti horns, that Erdogani horns, all together work for this orangutan Dadichi to come and pop at the top of it and rule the world with the NSA, with MI6, with all the lies that they want to do. And indeed you have an appointment for bringing out the seventh Buddha beast, or the seventh Baha'i Bab, or the Siddhartha, or Qatuk, or Qati Bahini Singa, or Qati Kardan, or the mixing, or the matchmaker that pollinates the Zionist zombies with Latihani life force. What the hell this life force is called? Qi, or Qigong, or Reiki energy. However, the thing is that the first class, they call it the gold. We have the gold, the silver for the chests, and the copper for the middle part of the body of the Vishvarupa, and then the iron at the very low. So the gold at the very top, this is the gold that Aleister Crowley's and then Yogi Bhajans and then these world-class orangutans are receiving, is basically the gold that after Hitler penetrates the Barack Hussein Obama in his blessed anus, that's the Reiki gold that it receives. Because again, Hitler has been spreading that gold among the high-ranking brown coats and the stormtroopers of Nazi Germany that now is running the US government. Anyway, this Latihani life force is basically the pollination, one of the ways of the pollination, in addition to distribution of LSDs and psychedelic psychedelic apocalypse that you will not fail to keep. And so there's an appointment for you that you will not will not fail to keep. And look at your god, your Gotamai goat gog, or the goat of the Daniel 8, or the Godamai God, or the Caesar Singa, of Scarlet Soria San Mitra, to which you are devoting, akifing. They call it Sushila Buddhi Dharmaing, or sticking, Dharmaing, Sushila Buddhi. They are sticking to the Buddha Abudan. This is the Kant cult of this orangutan. Muhammad Sobud Bapak Somadi Vojojo. Holding, sticking, Dharmaing, Dharaming, Daring, in Persian, Arabic, or in Sanskrit. We will surely burn that piece of filth, the God particle, upon the Armageddon, and upon the coming of the Christ, or upon with Imam Mahdi, or upon the attack of our dimension to there, and blow it into the lake sea of burning fire, with his Dalai Lama, with his Ben Salman, with his Erdogan, with his Xi Jinping. Again, this monster that you see here, sitting here, this Zionist Xi Jinping, don't underestimate that sack of filth. And so we will blow it with all of its Taoist yellow caps, with a baqaraic blaster by Zulqarnaini, cow Christ. Your God is only Allah, except for whom there is no deity. He has encompassed and vastens all things in knowledge. And so episode 7, Allah's fire forgiveness rests on the Israeli camp, upon the beauty faithful repentance, by killing the Barack Hussein Obama, elected president of the false democracy of the end time. And so then after that, we forgive you so that you might be grateful. And recall when we gave Moses the messianic Mumbuk and Logosi Lavla, contrasting or criterion or Furqan, ever new Nazareti tablets, that perhaps you would be guided or headed to heart home. And when regret overcame them and they saw that they had gone astray, they said, if our loved Lord does not have mercy upon us and forgive us, we will surely be among the losers. And the ones who do all odious deeds thereafter repent even after that, and believe, surely even after that your loved Lord is in this ever forgiving and ever merciful. That's the level of the mercy. I'm trying to see if I can get the Jezebel to benefit from that. And the ones who do odious deeds, we read that, and as soon as Moses' anger calmed down, and then through the messianic Sufi said, he took a love look at the Tarshishi tablet, or Akhaz al-Alwah, the two tablets of Lawh al-Mahfuz, they copy pasted from the source of Lawh al-Mahfuz, the preserved tablet, that were dropped from his hearty home into Allahi action, and in the angelic pages or word wings or truthful transcript of it, Ladon Dini Down Dini Lamp Logos, was a golden guidance or home heading Hania, and a white milkah mercia from Allah for those who are fearful of their loved Lord. And I am the perpetual forgiver of whoever repents and believes and does Alhamdulillah, all hymned to Allah, and does righteousness, and then continues in guidance, heading toward where hearty home. Episode 8, bifurcation of camp into Israelites and Israelis. Like Netanyahu, and at the other side we have like Hassan Nasrallah, or IRGC Commander-in-Chief General Qasem Soleimani, as Ayatollah Khamenei calls him, the living martyr. Inshallah, he will soon reach into his old dream. And the happy times of the blessed people is close. Their eyes are going to be full of love life. Then after killing the Samaris Nazi eagle or Sodomite Caesarta Obama a cow and 3,000 yellow calves and Suomis from his astray army, your hearts became hardened with hatred and reptilian revenge, being like silent stones, or even harder. And indeed there are stones from which rivers gush forth, and surely there are some of stones that split open so that water comes out of them, and there are some of them that fall down, all for the fear of Allah. And so some people are thinking that boycotting Israel or bringing the Palestinian issue to UN of the Antichrist and Taoist funded UN of Antichrist is going to solve the issue of the Palestine. You've forgotten that. If they kill and butcher all of the people, actually they give more Nobel Prizes to these people. These people, these wicked peoples are stoner than stones. Again, the objects are more alive than these filthy pieces of crap. We call them Hindu hellions or Baha'i baboons of Samari and its god, the god that Samari has made, the sex particle. And so the dirty Dajjal, Dadichi. And so and there are some of them that fall down for the fear of the Allah, and Allah is not unaware of what you do and how you grow your parasitic science of measure and number and smash and dissect and disintegrate and chop down. That's what they do in order to receive and make a division and then rule, divide and conquer. That's how this is receiving energy and out of life. That's the meaning of parasitic program. It is because of his this arrogant antagonism of genius and anthropoids and saltwater sinking Sadducees and hardened hearts that they genetically modified the legacy heritage of Isa Messiah and then rubbed their Rigvedaic rust and Talmudic trash on Tarshishi tableta of the Hezbollahi hearts. Do you hope, O believers, that they, Kabbalistic rabbis of Krishna scratch, would believe for you, while a party of them used to hear the messianic word of Allah or the calming claim, proclamation or kalam of Creator, and then distort it and genetically modify it after they had understood it. After they understood it, they know very well. These people know Holy Quran better than all the Muslim scholars, because the innocent Muslim scholarships, they've never been in the unseen to know, but these orangutans, they've been there and they know what's. They're actually, again, they are just ready to attack the heaven. The power that they have accumulated is not to take care of the Muslim and Christian ships. The power that they accumulated is to go to war with God. Okay, that's the amount of the Again, the reptilian Ronald Reagan said, our differences worldwide would vanish if we face an alien threat. They are alienated from God because of these stone hearts, hardened hearts. And then so where were we? Distorted after they had understood it, while they were deliberately doing it. Pathogenic antipathy of archonically infected apes of Apis Nandi against truthful taste of Torahi tears from Tarshishi tablet has caused phony fabrications and deliberate misinterpretations of Messianic moon book. Throughout this witness, I will show some of them to the reader. And when they, hypocrite Israelis, meet those who believe, they say, we have believed. Actually, they are the owners of the Hollywood and the Bollywood. They are the best players on the earth. They can act in a way that the real believers cannot act it out like that. But they cannot actually, they don't act the real believers. They cannot show that kind of affection, but they know how to do it. But when they meet alone privately with one another, they say, do you talk and hadith to them about what Allah has opened to you for crossing through the Hades Sea? Because these people are the people that have eyewitnesses. These are the first hand eyewitnesses of teleportation or alien abduction of man by the alien or the Christ the Karimi hovering carousel disc UFO upon the dark waters and then taking them to the other side of the Red Sea. The Red Sea on the surface earth has not had one ripple on it. Forget about the opening of the Red Sea. It's not, such thing has not happened. It is all the going of the Israelites into the back door of this membrane that we are, and then showing up from the other side, so that they can argue like the two witnesses with you about it before your love Lord. Then will you not reason like a hybrid genius? But do they not know that Allah knows what the master race of Caesartic Obama Council or this master race is Shakyamuni master race? And what yellow black hole they reveal with pleasing sugar coat of hairy amber color, and among them are unlettered ones who do not know and meet the Messianic moon book, except in wishful thinking, oral tradition, and trash Talmuds and mold-made Mishnahs and Zionist Zohars. But they are only guessing and assuming with biased prejudice, which is based on abyss. And so woe to those who write the scripture with their own hands and then say this is from Allah. Okay, these scribes are number one enemies of the proclamation or kalam or kalamatullah or Christ the Karim or Book of Life. And so in order to exchange it for a price, vow to them for what their hands have written and vow to them for what they earn. How terrible it will be for you, Soma-stoned scribes and fested Pharisees, you hairy hypocrites and Israeli occupiers of Israeli camp. You are like whitewashed sepulchres that look beautiful like hairy and yellow pots of unpowered mines on the outside, mentally, natural disposition, and how you show up. But inside you are full of dead people's bones, abomination, ash, empty energy, vayu, void, ministerial, mana, maya, kundalini, clay, psychic, scum, leftover pots, which sickness sucking zombies call it Buddha medicine, and every kind of impurity. That's because they believed and then they disbelieved. So their heart pitchers were sunk, tapped, or naturalized, or became naked. They lost their belief. With natural nakedness, empty air of amnesia, which is full of health, dharma, dharam, dryness, or kept dryness, drought. Without merciful milk of legacy, vina from Messiah. And they do not understand, fear, and love Allah. And when you see them in mind mansion, their psyche sucked sacks of psyches and their high IQs and their mindful forms please you, good looking people. And if they speak like charismatic Obama, Krishna cow, you give ear unto their speech, or like the Guru Führer, reptilian representations of their meaningless words and virus programs, which are like 1,000 shades of gray Ein Sof hour, as if they were pieces of wood propped up and dried up like Krishnian flutes. They deem that every shout is against them. Again, these people, because that's about the entire deal is that this is the only life that they have, and then after that it is destruction and empty, and so they are sticking to what they have. So like Somaistan citizens of the brave new world, they sneak in under their Iron Dome defense system and bomb the outside Israeli terrorists and savages of the brave new world, and Shekinah his ships in Yemen, Syria, Afghanistan, Gaza Strip, and so on. They are the elastized enemies that walk in gay prides and crawl in yoga mats. So be aware of them. May Allah destroy them. Amen. How are they deluded? The example of those who were loaded with legacy love light by Torah and then did not take it on, these rabbi rabbits of the rabbit hole, into fruitful action, is like that of a donkey who carries volumes of messianic word wine without understanding them and without finding the fruitful fear of Allah that could helpfully heal and prevent them from carrying out the gay marriage in mosque churches of his Messiah. Wretched is the example of the people who deny the signs of Allah. And Allah does not guide the wrongdoing people. I will turn away my signs from those who are arrogant upon the earth without reliance on Ruhi Rokhraki truth. And if they should see every Isa Salam sign, they will not believe in it. And if they see the wordway of the Genesis, growth, raise, Reshit, Breshit, they will not adopt it as a way. But yet, if they see the Taoist way of Latihan, the life force or energy transmission, or pollination, or Qi or Riki, Gi, Rad, really pharaonic trill thunder, because they are hungry for the power. Look at how much Reiki is being propagated in the spider ritual marketplace of the end time. They will take it as a way, where wicked vibrations, sounds, and vayu void are called sacred. That is because they have denied our Isahi signs or the story on the page, and they are eating the page, and they were heedless of them. Those reincarnationists who deny our Isahi signs and resurrection, meeting at the Isahi Eden or hereafter, or at the Chinut Pretum Bridge or As-Serat Bridge, or the double-edged tongue sword, or the emanation, or the moonshine, or Sabai and Sabuhi moonshine of the moon book. Their scientific measuring, LHCs, yoga, heliocentric models, deeds, karmas, NASA's, quantum physics garbages, global warming models have become worthless. Are they recompensed except for what vanity and mokshad mockery they used to do? Thus we relate to you, O Mu'tazahi Muhammad, some information of what happened before, and indeed we have granted you from our Isahi Ladon Din, or down, right under, down Din judge, lendering dinari, religion rock, or right hand side, or underneath, messianic mastra of forgetful heirs from our Deen, the Isahi essence or Ruhi Reina of remembrance or Zikr. Whoever turns away from him, the remembrance rock or the Zikr, and falls into queer crevices of Krishna crap, then indeed he will bear at confrontation with Isahi Deidur disk or Chinut Pretum bridge of resurrection a burden as heavy as sorrow. Here you can see an orangutan, one of the 3,000 swamis that were killed, or the golden calves with the mark of the beast, or 666. Here you can see different levels of the energy body, the causal body that these orangutans called. Here you see a UFO or a Merkabah or toroidal field, and you see all of these orangutans that whose forelocks are all given into what? Into Vayu void, or the salt sea, or the solar sands. And so again, these are not when they sit in the meditation, they are actually looking at the behind the closed eyes. They look at the third eye with the squinted eyes. They are actually looking down. This is down and this is down, and then you have to come out of these two sides. And so these are the hybrid rays that are controlling the master card. Okay. And so you see here two LSD tabs on the tongue of this chimpanzee that are thinking this is the cubensis mushroom, and then they make fun of the Holy Bible with this is what the Kadoka Bahini is Kati Bahini Sinka, or the tiger of the Durga dragon is spreading. The LSD vibes, and the extract of these mushrooms is what is on these tabs of LSD. Now they have made a gay-friendly Bible. They've removed those wine verses that are against these fields, and then they just genetically change everything, and they don't care about nothing. This is Tarataka meditation. All of these orangutans are worshipping the Shemesh or Anu Hanuman. These are the apes of the jungle that are worshipping Anu Hanuman. And here you see the the cosmic egg of these orangutans, and the Vesica Pisces, or the mixing of the two race, of the gene race plus the ape race. And that's where the money and the power is. And again, no one can buy and sell without this. You want to take a look at that verse, that no one can buy and sell. Look at the economical sanctions against the resistance government of Iran and the IRGC and the Hamas and Hezbollah, and then you will see how much purchasing power of the planet is controlled. Not only purchasing power, but also food, information, everything is controlled by this master race of Shakyamuni monks. And again, you see here another Anglican orangutan and a puppet poop of the Antichrist. Here you see a perfect resemblance of Yogi Goliath. You see here Philistine. Here you see the Yogi Bhajan, the teacher of the Jezebel. Here you see the Mr. Barack President Obama. Here you see the Ramdas of Diospida. These are all the anomalies. This orangutan, this chimpanzee, the darkness gatherer. We will talk about him later. These are all the anomalies that are coming out of the ring. And then they are this is the NSAI, and then they know how to make fun of the Christ, and then the Zulqarnain. But in fact, these are the people that are running the entire world from the top of the American, the pyramid of the American dollar, and they call themselves the light forces.